thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name is Panzer, and I am so excited because we're about to watch Overwatch's latest animated short called Heroes that is about Soldier 76, and I'm really excited about this for a lot of reasons, the biggest one being that Soldier 76 has a lot of overlapping lore with Reaper, and he is the character that I most want to learn about, so maybe we'll learn a little bit about Reaper today. If you don't know the backstory and why their lore overlaps, let me give you a quick TLDR. Jack Morrison, who is what we know now as Soldier 76, is from Indiana. When he was 18, he joined the military, which is where he met Gabriel Reyes, who we'll eventually know as Reaper. The two of them became really good friends. They joined the Soldier Enhancement Program together, where they were augmented and trained to become basically perfect soldiers. They then went on to join Overwatch together, and Reyes was given a leadership position. The two of them helped to end the Omnic crisis and defeat all the Omnics, at which time Jack Morrison was named Strike Commander, which is a position that outranked Reyes' position. They were really not getting along after that. Reyes was all salty about getting passed up for the promotion. So Reyes went and joined Overwatch's covert ops division called Blackwatch, and Jack Morrison stayed in the main branch of Overwatch to be Strike Commander, where he led for 20 years. It was under his command that Overwatch had their big golden age, where they pooled all of their resources into space exploration and climatology, as well as medical research, and the world enjoyed 15 years of peace and prosperity and technological development, and a lot of that is directly accredited to Soldier 76. Then about 18, 19 years into the whole situation, there started to be all of these allegations of corruption and infighting, as well as malpractice isn't the right word, negligence on the part of Overwatch, which led to some really high profile missions being failed. They even went as far as to by they I mean the people of the world, even went on to accuse Overwatch of shady weapons dealings, human rights violations. It was really bad. People started protesting and kind of calling for Overwatch to disband because they were like, hey, this isn't cool. You're the cause of all of our problems. And it's funny because when I read all this and I learned all this, it made me think on a big scale in real life, how often has this kind of stuff happened? Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes, their generation had to go through this crazy war that lasted decades, and they had to fight it. And then they saw the difference between this current war era. And when I say war, the Omnic crisis almost wiped out humanity. It wasn't oh, we're just having this little war and a few thousand people are dying. No, it was in the Overwatch universe. This was the worst war in the history of wars. It was really, really bad. So you have this one generation of people who lived through this war, and then they saw, Overwatch, this team of heroes come in and save the world. And then, Overwatch went on to, make sure that these terrorist groups Talon, as well as the Deadlock Gang and the Shimada Ninja Clan, they kept all of them in check, all while fostering all of this growth and development and research. And then this new generation comes along that didn't live through the war. They don't know the time before this golden age of Overwatch, so they start blaming all of their problems on the people in the spotlight. And it just makes me wonder how much of that happens in real life. I don't know, but it got me thinking. That's what I'm saying. Also, before I watch the animation, if anybody didn't know this, I think this is a really cool fact about Soldier 76. Chris Metzen actually conceptualized him in 1998. Literally, Soldier 76, name and everything. He had a slightly different backstory, but Soldier 76 in Chris Metzen's comic book anthology thingamabob was, this soldier who had this chip implanted in his brain that made him extra fast and extra strong and extra aggressive, and he was this heroic soldier who came back from this war zone, and he came back to a country that was being just ravaged by a civil war, which is kind of really parallel to what's going on in Overwatch, because you've got the old generation of people who looked up to Overwatch, who saw them for the heroes that they were, in this new generation that maybe doesn't appreciate what happened. But then there's always the possibility that there was corruption in Overwatch. Anytime that you have this big organization of people with hundreds of people coming in and out, there's always that opportunity for someone to get in that's not a very good person. There's also a theory that maybe Overwatch is the victim of a massive conspiracy theory. Maybe all of these rumors that are circulating is because there's someone with little birds. Little birds, they're whispering and telling stories and telling tales, or maybe they're even going further to plant evidence. Who knows? So I think that in this animation that we're about to watch, we might find out a little bit more about the downfall of Overwatch, because even the downfall of Overwatch itself, it's really confusing what happened. The headquarters of Overwatch blew up. It exploded like 3 years ago in the Overwatch timeline. And that eventually led to Overwatch breaking up. It was kind of like the final straw. And even though it's like apparently an accident, in some Soldier 76 stuff that Blizzard has put out, they've implied that it was an attack, not an accident. We also know Reaper was there for that, so it makes me wonder, like, were Reaper and Soldier 76 fighting each other? Were they both fighting against this other thing? I really am curious as to whether Reaper is actually a bad dude. I'm like, so, like, what if Reyes, Gabriel Reyes, saw this big conspiracy, all of this corruption, and had been trying to do something about it this whole time, and Soldier 76 wouldn't listen to him because he had this grandiose view of Overwatch that everything was so perfect. So I'm really excited to see what we learn about the rise and fall of Overwatch, as well as the rise and fall of the friendship between Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison. So I will stop blabbing and we'll go ahead and we'll watch this, and then I'll check back at the end and see what we learned, okay? Okay, here we go. Play. Is this Dorado? Hell yeah, it is. I want a churro.
I'm not a baby anymore, Mama. Stop treating me like one.
Listen to me, mija. Get the flour and get back quickly. No stops.
Fine.
So much angst. So much angst.
I worry about Alejandra every day. No longer a child and nowhere near grown up. She is at a crossroads.
Well, headed to point A. The checkpoint
the
A.
heroes who saved our world time and time again, because I want to give her hope. But I'm afraid that she could be forced to make a choice that will decide the direction of her life.
Hey, Ale, where you going, girl?
Nowhere.
Nowhere's right. Come here. You gotta see this. Here. Look at this thing. Give him what he deserves.
I don't know.
I don't think gang members generally just pick up little girls off the street to beat up whoever they're beating up.
It's just a bucket of balls.
I had to go to the store before it closes, or my mama's gonna kill me.
Oh, are you serious? You're stealing money from a little girl. I hate everybody. The payload! Oh my god, are they seriously taking her money? I can't... What fucking assholes? Who takes money from like a little kid? That's so shitty. Who is that?
Yo, go check that out.
Is this our knight in shining leather jacket? The vigilante known as Soldier 76?
Hey, come on, go back. Get up.
Oh my god. Oh, they have like blacklight paint all over them. Their tattoos are blacklight.
Enough games, Perro! Come on and fight!
Oh my god, get punched. Oh my god, Soldier 76 is badass. Oh. Oh my god, how very Call of Duty of him. Oh, them Helix rockets. I've got you in my sights. Oh my god, so good. They do such a good job incorporating the maps and the abilities. Oh no! He's punching him with a pinata. Like, what? He's not gonna do anything to you.
You don't get off that easy.
Oh no! Oh no! Such a good dude.
You saved me. Why?
Old habits die hard, I guess. Run home, kid. It ain't safe out here.
Oh, he got her coin purse.
You're one of those heroes, aren't you?
Not anymore.
She doesn't believe you. Oh, so good. Is he on the poster? He is.
Late, mija. I've been worried sick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mama, but you won't believe what happened tonight.
Oh my god, I'm literally crying. This is so good.
There are the times when I see her smile and the hope in her eyes, and I think maybe I don't need to worry about Alejandra after all.
Oh, that loud Dorado music, though. Ugh, that moon. That moon. Yes. So good. Oh my god. I shed a tear. I shed a tear. It was so good. I particularly like in these animations that Blizzard puts out that they're on the maps that we play in the game, and there's a lot of like recognizable things in the game, and it makes the maps seem so much less random. Like it's not just a place for us to battle and play and have fun. It's these are all places where things took place, and all of our heroes and villains and all of our Overwatch characters all, you know, have backstories, and they took place in these places. So I really love that in these animations, when you watch them, you see things and you're like, oh, that's Gibraltar, or oh, that's Dorado, or that's Hanamura. I really, really appreciate that. And even like seeing like, okay, like someone lives in that house, you know, like that's, I don't know if that specific building is one that you can go in. I would get on, but the game isn't up yet. Tomorrow. Anyways, it's interesting, like, when you're going to be on these maps thinking that, like, you know, in the backstory, people live in those houses and, you know, they've got issues with crime gangs, apparently. And I don't fully understand why they were all glowy. I don't know if it was paint or tattoos. I'm a little bummed that we didn't hear anything about Reaper, although I don't know if that was supposed to be like metaphorical or symbolic, because, you know, this guy's got this glowy kind of skull that's like Reaper's sort of thing. So I don't know if that was supposed to be symbolism, but it certainly gives us a little insight as to where the world is at. We're about, I want to say in the timeline, we're about 3 years post Overwatch's formal disbanding and 6 years since they've had any real authority to do much of anything, because it would be about 6 years after people thought Commander Morrison and Reyes died in the explosion at Overwatch headquarters. So it is it's interesting in the beginning how we see, you know, the mother really wants to instill in her daughter that there are heroes in the world and there were these people who saved them and like made the world a wonderful place. But these kids that are her age didn't live through that. They didn't see that. What they're seeing is, you know, the downfall of society and once again, you know, falling back into that place that's not peaceful, that's not prosperous. And they don't know. They didn't live through those heroes. So they're just all hearing it in stories. So I think it's really impactful that like Soldier 76 saved her, and she seems surprised by that because clearly in the society that she lives in, that's not the norm. The norm isn't. Apparently the norm is to steal from little girls and make them beat up robots who aren't doing anything. I have such a hard time with the Omnics in this because I know that the issue with the Omnic Crisis is that not the issue, but the confusion with the Omnic Crisis is, did the Omnics gain some sort of sentience where they, you know, had actual, I don't want to say souls, but do you know what I mean? Like actual consciousness? Or is a person responsible for the Omnic Crisis? Or is a person responsible, but they still were sentient? You know what I mean? Like at what point? Because obviously in Overwatch, we see people like Widowmaker. Widowmaker was a person. Her name was like Emily or Emile. Amelie. I'm not French. I don't want to slaughter that name. But she was married to a guy named Gerard. Gerard was in Overwatch. And she was kidnapped by the terrorist group Talon. And she was tortured and essentially reprogrammed into a sleeper agent. So, you know, in the Overwatch universe, you can essentially reprogram humanity. So it's really difficult to think of the Omnics as enemies if they were reprogrammed, because apparently in this universe, humans can be reprogrammed as well. So it's sort of like, I don't know if any of you guys watch The Walking Dead or anything, but it's sort of like one of those situations where at the end of the day, no matter who is the visible enemy, like in the Omnic Crisis, the Omnics were the enemies, and a lot of very apparently simple people still see the Omnics as enemies, but very much like in The Walking Dead, the problem is always going to be people. The problem is always going to lie with a person. And I think that through these animations that we get out of Blizzard, and the more that they release in comics and this, that, and the other thing, the more we learn about, you know, the goods and the bads of humanity. And the Omnics are just really a secondary sort of thing. Although some of the Omnics clearly do have, like Zenyatta clearly has consciousness. And it's also odd because like Genji really struggled with himself for a while because he's a cyborg, which is odd to me because like as a cyborg, you still have your mind and your memories. And like, no matter how many pieces of your body are robotic, you were still born human. You're not a robot or an Omnic. So it's odd to me. I don't want to say racism, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's odd to me the hatred that some people hold in their heart for Omnics and even cyborgs when at their core, they aren't the problem. I really truly believe that when the Omnic Crisis began, it was because of the actions of a human. I also kind of think that the more we learn about Reaper, and I'm sorry that I'm such like a Reaper, like I don't want to say fangirl, that's probably not the right word. I'm just so intrigued by Reaper's backstory, and I think that at some point we're going to find out that Reaper like knew something about the Omnic Crisis and how it started, and I think someone didn't listen to him at one point. And I think, you know, I don't think it was a bad choice for Morrison to be promoted to Strike Commander in the lore. Morrison is clearly the more stand-up guy. Not to say that Reyes ever had bad intentions in his time at Overwatch, but, you know, somebody who comes across as a little rough on the edges as opposed to somebody who, you know, is kind of like radiates teamwork and positivity and courage. Like, obviously that's where that promotion came in. But say Reyes did point the finger at someone and maybe that wasn't taken kindly by the UN. It was just who made the decision to promote Strike Commander Morrison. And like, I've seen a lot of theories that maybe Talon is not the bad guy, as odd as that sounds. Maybe Talon is either funded or founded by someone at the UN or former Overwatch members who are trying to prove a point that Overwatch is still necessary in the world and that Overwatch wasn't the cause of the problems. albeit in a very convoluted and violent way. There's also like the possibility that, you know, maybe when all of the explosion and everything happened at the headquarters, maybe that was Reyes trying to warn Strike Commander Morrison. Maybe it wasn't a fight. Maybe it was a warning. Maybe. I think Reaper is going to be a really important character in the lore of Overwatch. And I think there's a lot we don't know about him. And I think there's a lot that a lot of people don't know about him. And I think that in his character, that's what he wants. So my thoughts on this animation in a nutshell are that it really gives you perspective on the state of society in current day Overwatch universe. Clearly there isn't a good sense of police or authority. They're just openly beating someone up with a bat, you know, and it's not being done in private. That was just on a street where a little kid was walking. We didn't see any sort of presence of any sort of law enforcement at all. So it seems like the society that Overwatch's population is living in right now is really, if not in a state of anarchy, certainly on the brink of it. And Soldier 76, I don't really know his intentions, because when he saved the little girl, he said old habits die hard, but like, why were you beating up the punks in the first place if it's not about, you know, being a good guy and saving the world? I mean, obviously they had weapons and they were stealing from little kids, and they're beating up Omnics, so we still have a lot to learn about Overwatch's characters and their intentions and, you know, their part in a bigger story. And this animation made me cry. That was me trying to summarize that. I did my best. What did you think about the Overwatch hero animation? Obviously, it was pretty small in this video, so if you want to watch it, I'll have a link in the info below so that you can watch it for yourself, which I would recommend you do. I also did videos like this about Dragons and Alive, although I'm going to be honest, my Alive one wasn't as good. Doing the reaction video for the Alive animation actually is what really sparked my interest in Overwatch lore. So as you're seeing me watch it, like, I'm very into it. I'm learning, and I'm excited to learn more, but I don't know very much about it at all. I'm like, why is her skin blue? Why is she an asshole? I mean, there's a lot of reasons, Panzer. You can't just go around asking people why their skin's blue. It's not okay. So, that, like I said, that video is not quite as good, but the dragon video I'm pretty okay with. I'm pretty okay with it, because it has quite a bit of lore and information about the characters and like what we learned from the animation. And I also did a video, if you're interested, about the lore of the rise and fall of Overwatch as an organization. And it's pretty short, it's only like 6 minutes. So I'll have that linked somewhere, linked in the info below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and get hype. Where I live, Overwatch is coming out in like 28.5 hours. And I'm very excited about it. I think the first hero that I'm going to play when I open up Overwatch is Pharah, because justice reigns from above. No one even noticed it. I wore a Pharah shirt in my last Overwatch video, and I don't think anybody even noticed it. Sigh. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend. Thank you for watching my video again. If you liked this video, make sure you thumb it up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna go. I will see you so soon. I love you all. You're in my heart, so I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.